Okay, let's start fresh. We are creating PRKCST command line shortcuts. So let's add into PRKCST ls. Yep. Let's add surdj sound. Let's add surd with features derive. That's great. Opening it in Helix. Cargo terminal has everything we need. Let's get started. So we would need a few things. Hmm, let's start by creating a module. Commands. Commands. Since this does not exist, we will have to create the desired file. Should have compiled the project before starting. Yeah. Commands.rs. Let's go into commands.rs, saving it. So we would start with a public struct command. It would have alias string type and commands as a vector of string. Yes, this needs to derive a few things. So let's derive those. We'll take a debug, clone, serialize, and deserialize. Okay, it seems to be. Now, what I want is generate new. That's great. I also want to access alias so that we stir, and that would be self.alias. Does it work? Yes. And then we need public function commands, which takes a immutable self, returning a vector of stir. Then what we would do, we would iterate over the commands, iter, then map over it, mapping cmd into stir and collect it. Okay, so far so good. Let's go into main. This would be returning an IO type result empty. So what we want is an OK at the end to say everything worked perfectly. Now we want to define what our app is going to do. So first let's take arguments. So this would be standard environment args dot collect. Okay, and if args length equals to 1, should we provide um, vector string? So here we will do something like define the usage. Um, Small we could usage. First we would want list, and take args 0, then you define a function usage add and also take 0. Next we want actual usage where we define yes, args, like how the app is going to work. Perfect. Now, so we'll have a commands.json file right next to binary. And what if user did not create one? So we'll create one for them as well. Let's create a function um, fetch commands from file. This takes nothing and returns an IO result of vector of command is this one. Okay, so what we want is let file equals to match file open, call it commands.json. If we get an okay, we give back the file. If we get an error, which means the file probably doesn't exist, in that case we will do something like what can we do? Let's create the file. If the file does not exist, create this, and it should take commands.json, and then we'll return an okay of vector new. Wait, we need to return actually. Okay, so file does not exist. Let's import that. Um, return expressions. Okay, now let's create a reader is equals to buff reader dot um, read what will be the function. So buff reader will have a new function over file. Perfect. Now we will find the commands. So we need to do something like let commands equals to sorry JSON dot from reader. Yes, and reader would be our reader. Yes, and it gives an error, so let's match over it. If it's an okay command, we will return commands. In case of error, we will return an error. Um, what can we return? So there are no commands and the file is empty. So let's return from here directly with an OK of vector new, and this is for that, and then we return OK for commands. We don't have to pass this. Yes. So now we will do something like, once this is done, fetch commands from file, right? And if we are here, let's run our function. Takes a while. Okay, okay, let's cd into target debug. That's ls. So we don't have anything as of now. If we are to do PRKCST, okay, now let's do ls. I think we'll see a commands.json file. Perfect. Yes, perfect. Let's CLS. Okay, one step down, next step. So the next step would be to list all the available commands. So how do we list those? If args dot length equals to 2 and args dot 1 equals to dash dash list, in that case we will print, let's not print, let's just simply create a function to list commands, right? And then return directly from here with an OK, like this. So since this doesn't exist, we are to not return anything. So this is not necessary. Now let's get all the commands from fetch commands from file. And okay, so one more thing would be IO result, um, right, yeah, and we would do something like this. So it needs us to at the end provide an OK. Now what do we need? If commands is empty, commands dot is empty, we want to print that no commands available and return with an OK of this. Otherwise, let's not add a return here. Let's create an else statement and then print all the available commands. So print available commands. Let's provide it a \n, and so we'll go for a for loop um, for cmd in commands, and let's print ln. So that would be alias, and how about a dash t at the front? Hmm, Videos and command. Command would be something like this, and this will be, so this would be cmd dot alias and cmd dot commands. um, right. How about we split this part? So we have our alias here. Let's stick to alias for now, but run another for loop for commands. So this would be command, okay, unusual name, and that would be commands, and then print talent with a tab, that does something like, right? Okay, and after this, let's add a \n. So on the next iteration, hmm, perfect. So this is good. Let's go here. Then let's do cargo run. And then cd into target debug ls. So we have our command PRKCST, and then list everything. No commands available. Okay. cd cls. Okay. So far so good. Let's commands from a file, and let's try to add a command. So how do we add a command? If args length is 2 and args first equals to add, in that way we want to add a command and return okay in case everything works perfectly. Again, this should give us way to generate. So this would be 5 result, and I think that's it. Um, okay, for now this should be okay. And what do we need? So let's start by adding areas. So front line, um, enter the areas for your command. Okay, this is good. Now we want to create a mutable string and read line from IO. So this would be let mute alias string new and then IO dot read to string, and that would be in alias, and then returning this. Um, no, not like this. Um, standard input. We are reading from standard input dot read line. It takes a mutable reference, alias, and then returning. Okay, so far so good. Now we want to enter commands. Okay, so this would be print line. Enter the commands associated with this alias. Slash n one 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 per line, and then the space to return the empty line to finish the line to finish. Okay, so here we'll go into a loop reading into commands. So what we want is to have a mutable commands vector new. Now we go into a loop, and now um, we read IO. Let's create. Let's mutable command string new, and then same way standard in dot read line into command. Okay, if it fails, just return this. Let's trim our command, so command has to be trimmed from both sides, and then commands dot push command. Okay, commands. Okay, commands. Trim. I think we want is to owned, right? And if commands command dot is empty, we want to break the loop, right? Right. Hmm. One more thing would be if commands dot length equals to 0, then also this return. Okay, but we should be saying something like you are supposed to um, return return so as to not make an empty entry, right? Yes. Now with both these variables, let command is equals to command new, so this would be alias, and commands, right? um, yeah, then we want to append command to the file, so append command to file. Here we are providing it command if it has an array error. We return the error. So here we want to be doing something like IO result and empty. Um, yes. Um, this this takes an OK so that we don't face the same problem. Now first we'll read all the commands from file, then we'll write back to the file. Okay, so let commands equals to, I guess this has to be mutable command, command equals to read from, no, it's called fetch commands from file. Okay, now what we want to be doing is command dot push. Okay, so let's get all the commands That would be fetch commands from file. If it gives an error, then we throw it. Then we push the commands with the command we got. Then we create the file. So let file equals to file create commands.json, throwing an error. Then surlyjson dot surlyjson and surlyjson to writer. So it should have to writer pretty serialize the given data structure as a pretty printed JSON into IO stream. Sure, why not? What it wants is file, and the value would be commands. Okay, this returns an error. We'll throw it. Okay, so far so good. Perfect. Now let's test this CLS cargo run. So this will build. Okay, now let's cd into it. So cd target debug. Okay, list no commands available. Add a command. Okay, so let's call it hello. It takes echo hello cache. Okay, and then empty command added successfully. Let's list all the commands. Okay, so we have a command hello and it does echo hello Prakash. Okay, now what we want. Okay, now the third and most important case. So how do we tackle the third case? Um, so third case requires an argument. So if args dot length is less than 2, then what we want to be doing is return because no argument was provided. So return with an OK. First thing is this. Second thing would be to get the first argument. So that would be the alias provided. So let alias equals to args first. That's the first argument. Then we want to collect all the arguments. So that would be that args equals to args dot args dot so we'll start by iterating over it, then step by one, or let's say skip two is slightly better. Dot skip two. Then we want to map over these star. Yeah. Then collect them. Okay. Um, think we don't need this many changes. What's happening over here? Not split off. Lot is mixed. It we have okay. Ester what? S dot ester. And then what's the problem in collect? Type must be known. Sure. Vector of star. Okay. Hmm. Now find command by alias. So we will first find command by alias. Do we have the commands available? So I guess we are fetching here, right? Commands. Let's do this. Now we want to do something like check if the command exists or not. So find command by alias. It takes commands as a reference, I guess. It takes alias to return an error. No, it won't return an error. Let's check if that is the case. Okay, so let's find the command. Okay, this is good. We'll have an option here. So this option would be whether we have a command or not. So we'll have an option of vector of star. And we will return a none and we find nothing. And let's try if we find anything. So let's run a for loop cmd in commands if cmd dot alias equals to alias, then we'll return with a sum cmd dot commands. We are going to get some lifetime errors, so let's provide it. Okay. um, tick a tick a tick a should solve the problem. Okay, so where are we fetching it? Let's match this. Let's say we got some commands. For now, let's just print line everything on exists, and in case of none, print ln command does not exist. Okay, how do you test this? So let's do a cargo build. Okay, I'll remove this. cd into target and debug ls. So we have this PRKCST. So it gives us list. Hello is there. Let's see. Okay. Now we have this. So commands exist and command does not exist. Now we want to be running a for loop over commands. So for cmd in commands so if that removing this error e in execute command which takes in cmd and args mm, args in case of an error we want to print line that error. What do we say here? We should say something like error executing command. Okay, error executing command this and error this. So let's provide it both the values command and error, and this will generate the function. Okay. This would be IO error. So this would be IO result and an empty error. And that's for now written an OK for the end. Okay, so far so good. Now we want to be executing the command. So we'll modify the command. That will do by get modified command. That would be command dot to owned. Okay. Now we'll loop in the arguments. So for arg in args, we'll go and we'll check modify command dot replace. We want to be replacing this with arg. So far so good. Next we want to execute the command line executing executing command, and then we'll provide a modified command. So that would be modified command, right? And then we'll get the status from the shell. So let status equals to standard process command, and then we want to have a new sh dot with arguments -3 dot with argument modified command modified command, modified command, and then we'll ask for status. Right now we got the exist status. We will check if the exist status was not error. So status success false, then we'll return IO error. Directly an error would be sufficient. Error, this would be an IO error. Error new, this takes in error kind other. Do we have another? Capital other, and the next value would be the string we want to pass. So that would be a format. Filled with exit code. code status dot exit dot code dot under or -1. Okay, so we have the modified command. Let's CLS and cargo build. Hmm. Modified command replace. Okay. Let's do something like this. Okay. We have used it. Okay. Let's do something like cargo build. Then cd into target and debug. Then ls we have CST is not recognized. Dot slash PRKCST. So it's giving us path. What could be the reason? Are we using the first? Okay, we can do something like list. So we have a command, available command. Let's add a command. Now let's execute. Hello. Okay, that works fine. Let's add. So enter your command. Hello world. Um, echo hello world empty. Now hello world command does not exist. Okay, we have a hello world. Okay, we have a hello world. Hello world command does not exist. Why would that be? So command find by alias. Is this giving us the problem? Command find by alias. So if we are to find the command, we just compare it with aliases. If we find the alias, we return some, otherwise we return none. So we need to do a couple of things. First, in add command, we want to trim the alias equals alias dot trim um, dot to owned. That's the first. Okay, and one more thing we want to be doing is that would be, yeah, here. Why is it giving error? So no, we need actually this variable here, modified command. Okay, so this is okay. Let's do a cargo build, then cd into target and debug ls. So can we create a new cst add? Okay, need to add a dot slash. Okay, so alias would be YouTube. Okay, and that would be echo hello YouTube from. Okay, okay, now let's try to run this command, and the command is YouTube, and we want to be passing in arguments. Okay, hello YouTube works like a charm. Took a lot of debugging.